After we left the beautiful valley of Cheek-Cheek-Off, for years we wandered down a European land, always moving toward the south, having our origin in the far north. Over this land we wandered, having our origin in the far north. Over this land we wandered like exiles, we know not how long, as it might have been centuries until we reached the rolling waves of the ocean. Upon reaching the salt water, we made boats or canoes, and paddled over the waves until we reached the opposite shore, having crossed the straits in safety. When the Indians first made their appearance on the Klamath River, it was already inhabited by a white race of people, known among us as the Wagas. These white people were found to inhabit the whole continent and were a highly moral and civilized race. And after a time, there were intermarriages between the two races, but these were never promiscuous.
It is along this same river that dwellings of an ancient race known as the Wagas once inhabited. For many years, the native people of the area and the Wagas lived in a harmonious balance, and there was only peace between all people. However, at some point in time, the Wagas departed, taking with them any mixed descendants. In one variation of the myth, they departed back to the land of Cheek-Cheek-Off, the land to the north of which they describe as their own origin along with the Yurok. However, in other variations of the legend, they disappeared among the trees and rocks of the land, never to be seen or heard from again. But before departing, they promised that they would one day return. The Yurok described them as possessing immortal-like qualities and mystical-like attributes. Another variation of the Yurok name of Wagas is Woge, meaning literally ancient holy ones or immortals. There were several mentions where they imparted sacred medicine and rituals for them to use in order to bring a balance to the world. When white settlers began encroaching on the area, the native people believed that it was the Wagas returning, and they knew the prophecy was true. However, they soon began to realize that it was not the Wagas, but by that time, they already began to succumb to the influx of vices put forth by the settlers. So we find ourselves along the Klamath River. At one point in time, it used to be occupied by an ancient race known as the Wagas or Woge, by the Yurok tribe. There are many other different variations of the legend by the Hupa and Karuk natives around the area. And according to different variations of the legend, they all retreated back to where they came in the far north. However, certain legends state that they retreated instead into the trees, into the rocks, into the caves, and even into the mountains. And it's interesting enough that there's several variations of the Lemurian legend in Mount Shasta that state that there was a colony deep inside the mountain that exists to this day. And it's very interesting to think about the continuation of this ancient native lore and how it changes over time. However, there's no real evidence to pinpoint the continuation of it, rather than at one point in time, here's one legend and here's another legend, and there's no connection between the two. It's almost as if both legends sprung up on their own independently. And so let's go see what we can find. As their ancient heritage soon dwindled down to some elders, knowing the significance of the ancient stone relics left behind by the Wagas, they began to destroy all remains of their past so that they will never befall the hands of the new inhabitants. After years of research, I have pinpointed the location of some of these ancient dwellings. However, I must abide by the old wishes of the elders and leave them be. And to those who seek to enter into the area, be forewarned, it is within a forbidden off-limits area, and it is said that rattlesnakes guard the sacred remnants.
I know it, know it, I know it, know it, I know it, know it, I know it, know it,
With us perishes the true name of God to my people. With it has perished from the earth our true Indian laws, our sublime religion, our deeds of chivalry as rich as the civilized world has ever beheld, as our glorious manhood and womanhood, immoral, corrupt, tottering, downtrodden, and debauched by a superior race. We have perished in that winter night of the transition period. At a simple blow, our laws were torn asunder. Loathsome diseases we have never known crushed out the life and beauty of our physical bodies and demented our spiritual minds with lowly passions. Poisonous, spirituous drink has set the brain on fire, degrading man and womanhood. Thus, as a race, we have perished. And this great land, the richest the world has ever known, the land of our forefathers for so many thousands of years. Now, another race is struggling on where our reign has ended. Already our great rulers are at rest, and forever, laureled with the glories of the primeval ages that have passed away in silence. As a nation, like the ancient Egyptians, we have grown old and passed away. We have seen a great civilization, endowed with a splendor of its own, rising of the debris of the eternal years.
I know it, know it, 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 I know